So first of all, we want to talk about the different topologies. Joe, do you want to start with tube amplifiers? Kind of talk about?
Yeah, I think we'll start with tube. They kind of play into A, B, C, all the normal stuff. So let's start there, right?
Okay.
Some of your most original amplifiers, way back in the days, were tubes. Tube amplifiers kind of created the basis for what ended up being then A amplifiers, as they took the same technology and just replaced the vacuum tube, which was in mobile applications unstable.
Yeah, bad idea.
With a solid state part. But the theory is the same. Then they moved into AB and B, which nobody talks about, but B was next actually.
Yeah.
Has its own problems, and then into AB. And that's kind of a whole group of amplifiers. They're all similar in design, using different output devices to get there. So let's kind of talk about A first, right?
Okay.
So A amplifiers, if you guys have some old school, audiophiles in here, you'll remember like the Alpine Class A amps and some Soundstream Class A amps, and there's a few other brands that had Class A amps sprinkled in around there, and they're kind of known for being dynamic, powerful. Everybody says they sound wonderful, and some of that comes down to is, in those cases, in those amplifiers, the output devices are always biased at basically 50%. And so you're only using one output device to drive your outputs. The advantage to that is the device is always at 50. It goes high and low, but there's no switching. You're never switching from device 1 to device 2, as we'll talk about later. So it's linear, it's always the same, distortion's very low, great sounding amplifier.
Real quick, so it's kind of like if you're on your lawnmower and you've got a riding mower and you've got the pedal to the floor the whole time. It's wide open all the time.
All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
It consumes a lot of electrical, a lot of current.
A lot of energy, a lot of heat.
A lot of heat.
Maybe 50%, 55% efficient at best. And like nowadays, if an amp gets to 90 degrees C, we're like, oh my God, it's hot.
Yeah.
If you go back and play with an A amplifier, like 90 degrees is like operating temperature, and like 130 is hot. Like they cook eggs.
Yeah, okay.
But they have their advantages, and just like that, they have their disadvantages. The biggest one is current draw in a car, right?
Sure, sure.
So that was a problem.
Okay.
So everybody's like, okay, how can we make this better? Well, then they made B amplifiers, which nobody really talks about a lot, but we'll talk about them really quickly. And what that was is they took one device, lightly biased it, took another device, lightly biased it negatively, and then switched between the two. They never really caught on. Why? Because during the switching area, they were completely uncontrolled and they sounded terrible.
Okay.